Welcome to Comic Kick, where you get your weekly kick of comics. I'm Jacob Knight with the Geek Press, and I'm currently broadcasting from the room where they decide the budget for all the DC TV shows. It's $10 on a table, and honestly, that explains a lot. It's currently June, which is Pride Month, so congrats. Go to Target, buy that rainbow blazer they are shoving in your face, and check out that aunt you don't really talk to's Facebook post about how there should be a straight Pride Month too. And to coincide with the whole Pride Month thing, DC has just released, as of the time of this recording, DC Pride #1, which is sort of this varied book where a bunch of different stories of queer characters are shown, as well as some highlights of live action characters in DC TV. And frankly, when I looked at this thing, I thought it was pretty exciting. The main characters that were focused on in this book included Batwoman, Midnighter, Renee Montoya the Question, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, Obsidian and Alan Scott Green Lantern, Jess Chambers the Flash, the Pied Piper, Dreamer, Jackson Hyde Aqualad, and various other queer and LGBTQIA characters. Overall, I would say the book was rather enjoyable, kind of giving those who already like and subscribe to these characters a fun little reminder of what makes them interesting, and kind of giving a taste to those who have no idea who the hell they are and just want to get a sort of sampling of what kind of adventures they could go on. And while I found some of the dialogue a bit cringy at times, the art was really well done for every story, and it was just a really nicely, tightly woven together package. So bravo for that. If you saw the title of this video, you know we do have a bit of a topic we're going to talk about, but before we get to that, the only issue I had really with this book is how short everything felt. There are many stories that could have been expanded upon, could have been delved a little deeper into, especially some of the stories in the middle where it's just a couple pages and then that's it. I mean, let's just do a comparison real quick. Detective Comics 1027 was about 144 pages, and DC Pride is around 84 pages, but they cost the same thing. Oh, do you guys see the ring light in the reflection? They pretty much cost the same thing, and that's a shame because with Detective Comics there's a lot of varied stories about Batman and his mythos, lots of different artists and writers, and this was very much the same, but every story felt short. It felt like everything could have been expanded and pushed upon. And while there are lots of highlights of characters, it felt so brief that if you were trying to get to know them, maybe the taste of them in this book wasn't enough to get you to go buy whatever series they show up in. Now, I was promoting this book in a group chat, as we all do, annoy our friends with things we like. And I was saying, go out and buy it. If you support queer people, go out and buy it. I've done the same thing for other books. I'm bullying them into buying Static next week. And a friend of mine, a friend of the channel, and sometimes co-host of the Geek Press podcast, mentioned that he didn't really want to get this book due to it simply just being a part of rainbow capitalism. And for this conversation, we'll kind of define rainbow capitalism as the incorporation of LGBTQ plus movements, representation via capitalism and the consumerism that comes with it. And more often than not, this is sort of angled at those upper, more affluent peoples that can afford this sort of cookie cutter, corporation friendly brand of queer promotion. So you can kind of critically look at it as companies selling queer iconography, not for the sake of promoting any ideas of equality, but more so just to make a buck because it's that time of the month, it's queer month. Now every Twitter bio changes to rainbows and everyone's like, we support the gays, come buy Axe body spray. Which honestly, good for Axe, whatever, like I'll take it. Now, if you guys are actually interested in this phenomenon, I'll leave some articles down in the description if you want to check out more what other people have to say about the whole thing of rainbow capitalism and all that. But let's just look at this book itself. Is this book in itself participating in rainbow capitalism? The thing is, yes, it totally is, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, if we look at this book, many characters are highlighted, but how many of them have their own ongoing series? And I think of the people that were mentioned earlier when I was highlighting the characters, only Harley Quinn is the person with a book out right now. Even then, I think the only recent LGBTQ plus community character to get their own book is Lobo's daughter Crush, and even that in itself is a miniseries. So it does kind of come off as, oh look, it's Pride Month, so we're just going to throw a book out there and pretend that that's enough, while people in that community are saying, hey, instead of just giving us this snack, can you just give us a goddamn meal for once? And I think for any member of a disenfranchised group, just getting tidbits of what you want can be really annoying, especially when there's clearly a market for people who are willing to buy into this narrative. So while it's just kind of obviously just a corporate move, it still is actually pretty good that it happened at all. You're one of those people that are like, we need to stop capitalism. Until we as a society can dismantle the system, encouraging brands and companies to participate and spread equality, and encouraging brands to promote equality of all sexes and genders, as well as fighting homophobia and fascism, whether or not it's determined by money, is inherently still a good thing. Because yes, while obviously it is just part of a market ploy to get more money, at the end of the day, it does have a positive influence on people. So it's the little victories. I'll call that a W. I'll take what I can get until we can get more. You know what I mean? And plus, there's always that thing that if you don't buy this book, then you show the company as well as the people who are against the idea of this book even existing that, oh, there's not a market for this, no one's going to buy it, we're not going to produce any more of this. So it's this weird situation where you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place, where if you don't buy this thing that was clearly put out just to make money, then the company will assume, oh, you don't want it, we're not going to push more of this out there, which is a shame. You know, if we learned anything about the Snyderverse, if you just go on the internet and complain, you might get them to actually do something. So why not keep tweeting about that comic book you really want or that movie you really want? Because the world's crazy, baby. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. So thank you so much for watching. If you wanted to have a conversation with me about rainbow capitalism, or how I'm wrong, or how am I right, or how I might have missed things, just go ahead and tell me, and I'd love to read it and educate myself, because I sure as hell don't have any of the correct answers. I only have a semblance of sanity. And of course, if you are interested in any of the characters featured in this book, I will have links down below for their own trades and what I suggest you read about the characters. And of course, I think you should go to your local comic book shop and pick those up. But just in case they're not, these are all Amazon links. So, but support the comic book shop if you can. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to come back next time for another kick of comics. See you later.